Hello everyone and welcome to this second video on conditionals. In this video, as I told you in the first one, we will cover the second and the third conditional, okay? And also a new topic, which is mixed conditionals. You will see that it's not as difficult as it seems, okay? So we're going to focus on the second first. Well, the second conditional is one of the unreal conditionals. And why is it called unreal? Because we normally use it to talk about hypotheses and also impossible situations in the present or unreal situations in the present, and also to give advice. If I were you, I blah, blah, blah. Okay? So we're going to start with the usage. Okay? I'm going to give you some example as to how to use this conditional. We're going to start with the first couple of sentences. If I were an animal, I would be a lion. Si fuera un animal, perdón, sería un león. If she were an animal, she would be a shark. Si ella fuera un animal, sería un tiburón. Okay? In this case, I'm using the second conditional with would. This is the traditional conditional second conditional that we already know. Okay, we're going to move on to the second example. In this case, I've decided to use past continuous instead of past simple. Why not? If it were raining when you arrive, you wouldn't be able to leave the tent. Si estuviera lloviendo cuando llegues, no saldrías o no podrías salir de la tienda. En este caso, no podrías salir de la tienda. So in this case, I'm using a second conditional. Instead of using a past simple, I'm using a past continuous. I can do it perfectly well. And in the third example that I've included in this slide, I've decided to use a modal verb other than would. Instead of would, I'm going to use could. For example, if you earned lots of money, you could buy a mansion. Si ganaras mucho dinero, podrías comprarte una mansión. En vez de te comprarías una mansión, que sería con would, pues yo quiero decir necesito decir, podrías comprarte una mansión. In that case, we use the modal verb could. And I can do that perfectly well, okay? I don't have to use would necessarily, all right? I can use other modal verbs. For example, might. I can also use might. If my best friend came, I might come too. Si viniera mi amigo, pues podría ser que yo fuera también. Okay? If my best friend came, I might come too. All right? Okay. So that's the usage. That's how we normally use it. Now we're going to have a look at how we form this conditional. As we have seen, we can use a past simple if I won the lottery, and I would move to Japan. Si ganara la lotería, me mudaría a Japón. But we don't need to use past simple necessarily. We can also use past continuous if you want, okay? And also, apart from would, we can use other conditionals like could or might, okay? So that's how we form the second conditional, all right? We're going to go back and we're going to have a look at some extra examples, all right? So as you can see, I have if he were taller, I would wear heels. Si él fuera más alto, yo me pondría tacones. I'm sure that many of you must be wondering why I'm not using was in this case, because the subject is he. The problem, or the reason more than the problem, the reason is that in English, as in Spanish, when we're using conditionals, we're using the subjunctive. And in English, we use the subjunctive too. In Spanish, we would say, si él fuera o fuese más alto. Eso es subjuntivo. En inglés también tenemos que utilizar el subjuntivo. La forma del subjuntivo del verbo ser es were. Okay? So, it doesn't matter that the subject is he or it or she. We're always going to use the form were with all the grammatical persons, okay? With all the subjects. If it were taller, if it were August, si fuera agosto, me iría a la playa. I'd go to the beach. If he were a better person, everyone would treat him differently. Okay? Remember that. We have some extra examples. If you did your homework, you'd understand everything much better. I'd travel abroad more often if I were you. In this case, I'm giving a piece of advice. Viajaría al extranjero más a menudo si fuera tú, ¿no? Ahí estoy dando consejo. I'm giving advice. And I'm not using a comma because I have inverted the order. And I'm placing the conditional clause at the end. If I had all the money in the world, I'd donate it to science. Si tuviera todo el dinero del mundo, lo donaría a una ciencia. I guess that now with the examples you can see why the second conditional is called unreal conditional, because you're talking about hypotheses, you're talking about unreal situations in the present. Everyone could do it if it weren't so difficult. Todo el mundo podría hacerlo si no fuera tan difícil. O if it weren't raining, si no estuviera lloviendo, I'm using the past continuous there, I might go to have a beer. Okay? All right, let's go back because we're running out of time. And we're going to focus on pronunciation. Again, as in the case of the first conditional, I encourage you to use contractions when you use conditionals to speak. Okay? So in this slide, I have included some pronunciations that you must or that you should practice, and you should definitely use when you're using the second conditional. Okay? The contractions with would. Okay? So you play the recordings, you listen, and repeat. All right? Okay, that's all regarding the second conditional. Let's move on to the third now, which is here. And in this case, we are also talking about an unreal conditional, but we use it to talk about imaginary situations in the past, not the present, as in the case of the second conditional, but in the past, and their consequences, and also to express regrets. Okay, let's have a look at some examples so that you can have a clearer idea of what I mean. The first case, if you hadn't been late, you wouldn't have missed the concert. Si no hubieras llegado tarde, no te habrías perdido el concierto. So this is an unreal situation in the past. Es una situación irreal en el pasado porque llegaste tarde. La realidad es que llegaste tarde. Pero si no hubieras llegado, ahí está la situación irreal. La consecuencia, ¿cuál habría sido? Pues que no te habrías perdido el concierto. Okay? Now, I can also use the third conditional to express regrets. For example, arrepentimiento. For example, if I hadn't let you in charge of breakfast, you wouldn't have burned my toast. Si no te hubiera dejado a cargo del desayuno, no me habrías quemado la tostada. Okay? So that's a regret, un arrepentimiento. Okay? All right, and also in this case, instead of using the past perfect, I'm using the past perfect continuous, okay? If you had been paying more attention, you would have seen that we're about to crash. Sorry, there's a mistake in this sentence. You would have seen that we were about to crash. Ahí falta el sujeto, ¿vale? That we were about to crash. Si hubieras estado prestando más atención, te habrías dado cuenta o habrías visto que estábamos a punto de chocar. Okay? All right. How do we form this third conditional? Well, as you have seen, we use the past perfect. If I had saved enough money, you would have been able to buy the car. Si hubiera ahorrado más dinero, te habrías podido comprar el coche, ¿no? Again, in this case, you can use past perfect or past perfect continuous, as you prefer. And in the second part, the result part, we use always would have, okay? The contraction is would have, all right? Here, you will find how to pronounce that particular contraction, okay? Would have. Great. So now we're going to move on to the mixed conditionals, okay? Mixed conditionals. So when we talk about mixed conditionals, what do we mix exactly? Condicionales mezclados, pero ¿qué mezclamos exactamente? Well, when we mix conditionals, the conditionals that we use are the second and the third. And how do we do this exactly? Very simple. Take these two examples. I have a second and a third conditional in this case. If I had money, I'd buy a new house. If I had earned enough money, I would have bought a new house. Si tuviera ni dinero, me compraría una casa, una situación irreal en el presente. Si hubiera ahorrado suficiente dinero, me habría comprado una casa. Es una situación irreal, en esta vez, en el pasado. ¿Cómo se forma el condicional mixto? How do you form a mixed conditional? Now, let's see how we mix them. I take the first part of the second or the third conditional and the second part of the other. Okay, for example, in this case, I've used the first part of the second conditional and the second part of the third conditional. If I had money, I would have bought a new house. Si tuviera dinero, me habría comprado una casa. ¿Vale? Esto es un condicional mixto. Alright? Estamos hablando de una situación hipotética en el presente, si tuviera dinero, y un resultado en el pasado. Me habría comprado una casa. ¿Lo veis? En el caso de que quiera mezclar la primera parte del tercero con la segunda parte del segundo, también puedo. If I had earned enough money, I'd buy a new house. Si hubiera ahorrado suficiente dinero, una situación hipotética en el pasado, si hubiera ahorrado suficiente dinero, me habría comprado una casa, un resultado en el presente. ¿Lo veis? Así se mezclan el segundo y el tercero. Okay? Well, I hope you're not feeling like this gentleman right here. I hope you're feeling much more confident. But if not, you can always go back in the video, play it as many times as you need. And remember that in class, you can ask as many doubts as you have. And you're always welcome to come to tutoring sessions for me to explain that in a more, precise and individual way. Okay? So we're going to go back and I'm going to provide you with some more examples. All right? You wouldn't be so tired if you had gone to bed earlier last night. No estarías tan cansado, ahora en el presente, si te hubieras ido más temprano a la cama anoche. En este caso no utilizo coma. In this case, I'm not using a comma because I'm inverting the order. I'm placing the conditional clause at the end. If she really loved you, she wouldn't have lied to you. Si de verdad te quisiera, no te habría mentido. Okay? If she hadn't fallen off her bike, she would be a champion now. Si no se hubiera caído de la bici, sería ahora campeona. Okay? If I had passed my driving test, I would be driving to London next week. Si hubiera aprobado mi carnet de conducir, iría en coche a Londres la semana que viene. Okay? All right, those were the examples. And before we finish with the video, I want to show you what other sections you can have in this presentation. I've tried to do it very comprehensively. Here you have some Kahoot games that you can use to practice these contents. The only thing you have to do is to press on the links. All right? And you will access different Kahoot games. Remember to enter your name, your proper name, please. Make sure you use your real name so that I can identify you. Here you have some online practice. Again, the only thing you have to do is to click on the links. In these two sections, you can find the key to the activities in the book. And in this bonus track, I leave you 3 songs that you can use to practice the third conditional. Okay? So, well, I hope you've enjoyed this presentation and bye-bye. See you.